For those workers, $10.95 an hour.
ABC's Andy Field in Washington. The Biden administration also preparing to send PPE and millions of doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine to India, where they have seen nearly 1 million new COVID cases in just the last 3 days. The AstraZeneca shot has not yet been approved for use here in the U.S. Nearly 96 million Americans are now fully vaccinated, though. ABC News medical contributor Dr. Ryan Rivera.
I think we're reaching a much harder stage of vaccination here, where those who are very enthusiastic about getting the vaccine, for the most part, have already received it. So we're down to those who often have logistical barriers to getting vaccinated, or those who might have some vaccine hesitancy.
The CDC is expected to release guidelines today on outdoor mask wearing for those who are fully vaccinated. Protesters on the streets of Elizabeth City, North Carolina again. A father of 7, Andrew Brown, shot and killed by sheriff's deputies nearly a week ago. The sheriff's department releasing body cam video, but only 20 seconds and only from one officer on the scene. Signatures verified in California for a recall of Governor Gavin Newsom.
Assuming the recall election makes it through a few more hurdles between now and about September, then a date will be set, and on the ballot there will be 2 questions. 1, should Gavin Newsom be recalled? And 2, if more than 50% say yes, who should replace Gavin Newsom? That's how it went in 2003 as well, when Arnold Schwarzenegger became governor, taking the seat away from Gray Davis.
You're listening to ABC News.
Paid for by government.com.
Have you heard? A recent stash of 1893 $10 Gold Liberty coins has been found. These gorgeous 1893p gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 25 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Just call government.com at 1-800-333-2210 and you are guaranteed a mint condition 1893 $10 Gold Liberty struck at the iconic Philadelphia Mint. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These 1893 gold coins are still in uncirculated condition. That is 128 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-333-2210. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-333-2210 now to secure your 1893p Gold Liberty coins before they sell out. That's 1-800-333-2210.
Washington, D.C.'s police department this morning saying it was hit by hackers, cyber thieves, reportedly using Russian-made hacking tools, getting in and stealing data, including intelligence reports and jail records. And unless the police pay a ransom, the hackers are now threatening to hand it all over to local gangs. The FBI is investigating. The Senate Judiciary Committee today holding its first confirmation hearing for several of President Biden's judicial nominees. As a SpaceX rocket was blasting off late last week, carrying 4 people to the International Space Station, something suddenly flew past the onboard cameras. ABC's Gio Benitez.
As part of the Falcon 9 rocket separates from the SpaceX Crew Dragon, some kind of object appears to fly right between them. The incident under scrutiny after officials reported a scare in space over fears of a possible collision with space junk. The U.S. Space Command later saying there was no threat. But what exactly was that object seen early in the flight? Sources telling us it appears to be ice from the liquid oxygen in that rocket, likely posing no danger.
And after facing criticism that its fees are too high, DoorDash now says it's launching a lower-priced delivery service for restaurants. The company says its new basic plan will cost restaurants about half what they were previously paying, but it will limit the delivery area and charge customers more for each order. This is ABC News.
Doors are being slammed in your face, and bad credit is holding you back. Ray's webinar has dedicated over 40 years to helping everyone get a 750 credit score. Bankruptcy, tax liens, judgments, and even late pays can be removed from your personal credit report. If you need a credit score to 750, $99 can get you started. Ray's webinar has built millions in credit for personal and business. If you need $5,000 to $50,000 and more, Ray's webinar will get you what you want. Call 800-490-4140. That's 800-490-4140.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
You know, folks are saying once you've used a Massey Ferguson, you won't ever want another tractor. They're tough, versatile, and dependable. And now with the change of season special at NC Tractor and Farm Supply, you'll be wise to get your special deal. Our tractors have been running in families for generations. Ask about the Phil Sheehan special going on right now. NC Tractor, 299 Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton. Call 288-0395.
Keep the sunglasses with you. Today, we're going to see mostly sunny conditions and high temperatures, warmer compared to yesterday afternoon, in the low to mid 80s today. Overnight, with mostly clear conditions around, we'll fall into the upper 50s. Tomorrow will be warmer, getting an early taste of summer. Temperatures will jump into the mid to upper 80s. We're going to keep that going into Thursday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Well, it's another beautiful day here in the neighborhood. Tuesday morning, the 27th day of April. We're starting out at 49 degrees, warming up to about 82 for our expected high today. Now, all the way through the weekend up until Monday of next week, I see nothing but clear skies with the exception of Friday afternoon, perhaps Friday night. There may be some scattered showers with lows around 48, but the rest of the time is clearing off for Saturday, May 1st. Mostly sunny with highs around 72. Beautiful weather here in this springtime. The foothills, again, 49 degrees here on this last Tuesday of the month. So tickled to have you joining us this morning. Thanks for letting us be your wake-up call each morning right here at 100.9 FM, 590 AM. Now I have these death announcements. Betty Lynn Moore Hollifield, 81 of Bostic, died Friday, April 23rd. A memorial service will be conducted at 5 o'clock Wednesday, April 28th, on the grounds of Sunshine United Methodist Church. The Reverend Ed Hopper will officiate. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service in charge of the arrangements for Betty Lynn Moore Hollifield of Bostic. Bobby Eugene Burwell, age 87 of Forest City, died Saturday, April 24th, at his residence. At his request, no formal service is planned. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory serving the family of Bobby Eugene Burrell. Jerry Kimbrell Henson, age 78 of Harris Holly Springs Road, Rutherfordton, died Friday, April 23rd. The funeral service will be held at 11 o'clock Saturday, May 1st, in the Holly Springs Baptist Church with Reverend Scott Mooningham and Reverend James Henson officiating. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. Family will receive friends from 6 until 8 o'clock Friday evening, April 30th, at the Paget and King Mortuary. The Paget and King Mortuary in charge of the arrangements for Jerry Kimbrell Henson. And those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. You can get the complete information on these and others as they become available to us this morning by turning into 11:35 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report, continued complete coverage of the death announcements that we have here, received here at the radio station. Well, the Braves had a good night. Last night, they edged out the Cubbies 8-7, and they have 3 more games. They have a 4-game series. They played last night. We'll play again tonight, tomorrow night, and Thursday night. And we'll join that pregame following News 13 at 6 each evening and follow that game. Hopefully they'll keep winning those games. So we'll see what happens after they don't have any days off this week. They're playing all the way through the weekend. After they leave with the Cubbies, they take on the Toronto Blue Jays. So we'll see how that works out. Some of the things keep in mind also, protection from property and mortgage fraud. You can sign up for a free service from your Register of Deeds. They're now offering a free service that helps protect residents from potential property and mortgage fraud. Property Check is called. It will automatically alert you to any recordings regarding the property you specify. You can register for property checks in 4 easy ways. Sign up at the website, select how you would like to receive notifications, enter the property owner's name, and click Create My Subscription. This property check is available now through the Rutherford County Register of Deeds, Rachel Thomas. If you have any questions, you can contact them. It's a good way to protect your property, keep somebody from deciding they want to live in your house when you're gone. It's a good way to protect that. Check with the Register of Deeds and learn more about that. Rush Limbaugh Morning Update is coming up next, and we'll get to the phones and find out what's been going on.
Folks, there's a lawsuit in California San Mateo County Superior Court. It alleges that YouTube has set minority hiring quotas. The suit's filed by somebody named Arn Wilberg, a YouTube recruiter who also worked for YouTube's parent company, Google. Now, Wilberg claims that last spring, YouTube recruiters were instructed to only interview female, black, or Hispanic applicants. The suit also says the company told recruiters to purge the applications of anybody not fitting those categories. Wilberg, a white male, says he complained, and when he was ignored, he went to Google management. And shortly after that, they fired him. Google says this is rubbish, that they don't use identity to hire, just merit. Now, according to the Wall Street Journal, 69% of Google's employees are men. White and Asian guys account for 91% of the Google staff, and the tech industry has had a big push to diversify. The Journal also reports that people familiar with Google and YouTube hiring practices corroborate some of the lawsuit's allegations, including the hiring freeze on white and Asian guys and YouTube's use of racial quotas. The Journal says the lawsuit threatens to ignite simmering controversy about Silicon Valley's politics and whether its predominantly liberal ideology is affecting how companies operate. What, that's controversial? Is there anybody anywhere who thinks liberal ideology has not infected and corrupted Silicon Valley?
Guest host alumni Buck Sexton here, recognizing this great audience relationship and speaking on behalf of the Oxford Gold Group. It's the company I've come to trust for real gold and silver. Did you know that can still be delivered to your door or placed directly in your IRA or 401k, tax-free and penalty-free? That's right, real gold and silver in your hands or your retirement accounts. Why should you own real gold and silver? Because they both hold their value, especially when markets decline or fail. Oxford Gold Group is the industry leader in precious metals, offering gold and silver at the lowest prices on the market. The Oxford Gold Group will beat any competitor's price on gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now at 833-404-GOLD and request your free precious metals investment guide. Call 833-404-GOLD. They'll send you their precious metals investment guide. Call them right now, 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
This is 100.9 FM and the mighty 590. The best of both worlds, Rutherfordton.
Good morning. Good morning. Every morning, I open the door. Hello, stock. Hello, store. Building my business, building my dream. I'm glad to have radio on my team. It reaches my customers, and new ones too, and tells them about what we offer and do. I'm watching my budget. I have to spend smart. For me, radio is a good place to start. Radio works harder. Put it to work for you at radioheardhere.com.
Brought to you by this radio station to remind you that radio is heard here. Radio is heard everywhere.
Let the WCAB marketing team go to work for your business. It works. Call Tracy or Jim at 287-3356.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Jesse and Zerelda, who was named after Jesse's mother, started the romance while Zerelda was nursing Jesse back to health after his being shot in error at the conclusion of the Civil War. After 6 years of courting, Jesse was finally able to take time in between bank and train robberies to get married. The Pinkertons were pursuing Jesse, so the marriage had to take place secretly. However, the secret wasn't very well kept because about 50 friends and relatives showed up. As a matter of fact, even the Pinkertons knew about it. Right after the ceremony, which incidentally, keeping in the spirit of the event, was performed by a Methodist minister they called Uncle Billy, word came to Jesse that 2 Pinkerton detectives were coming. Even though Jesse and his friends had enough firepower to dispatch the Pinkertons, they decided instead to lead them on a good old southern wild goose chase. The first chore was to hide Jesse's wife. Because she was a small person, leaving enough space to breathe, she was placed between the feather bed and the mattress of one of the beds. Jesse and two of his friends hid in the barn on horseback. The Pinkertons arrived, got off their horses, and went into the house. At this point, Jesse and his friends rode off, making enough noise to draw the Pinkertons' attention. And off went the Pinkertons in pursuit of the riders. Because of the skill he developed in evading people, Jesse easily lost the Pinkertons, circled back, picked up his new bride, and they headed to Tennessee for a honeymoon. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
All right, it's 16 minutes after 7 on this terrific Tuesday morning. Let's head to the phones, find out what's been going on. And reporting to us today from the Sheriff's Department is Officer King. Good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning. How you doing, Jim?
Doing well. How you doing?
Doing just fine for a Tuesday.
Yeah, man. What's been going on in your department?
In the past 24 hours, Sheriff's Department responded to 143 calls for service. There were 10 arrests processed in the jail, and the jail currently has 133 people incarcerated. On our incident reports, Jessica Tate from Farmside Drive in Forest City reported misdemeanor larceny. It's like it was a larceny of 2 chainsaws. A Coy Evans from DePriest Road in Bostic reported breaking and entering and a larceny after breaking and entering. Looks like some building materials were taken in that incident. On our arrest reports, Ashley Hefner from Oak Springs Road in Rutherford was charged with 3 counts of possession of a controlled substance in jail, received a $50,000 secured bond. Jacob Robbins from Old Church Street in Morrisboro was served with 4 counts of failure to appear on misdemeanor, received a $19,000 secured bond. Amanda Ramsey from Marshall Lane in Rutherford was served with a 1-count failure to appear on misdemeanor, received a $1,000 unsecured bond. Christopher Towery from Jupiter Lane in Bostic was served with 1 count of failure to appear on misdemeanor, received a $500 unsecured bond. And a John Lawrence, listed at the Quality Inn Motel in Forest City, was served with a warrant for assault on a female and battery of an unborn child, and received a domestic violence hold on that. That's all we have for today.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. Officer King, we do appreciate you being with us. Thanks for the report, and you be safe out there today.
Thank you, Jim. Have a good one.
See you now. Bye-bye. Was alerted yesterday. Let me alert you, folks. One of our listeners called, said that she had received a scam. And let me tell you quickly the highlights of what she said, because you may get this same kind of thing. They called and pretended to be from Duke Energy, and they were telling this person that they were late with their power bill, hadn't paid the power bill, and if they didn't pay it in 15, 30 minutes, they were going to turn the power off. And they had to call this number in order to take care of it. Here's the number. If you want to write it down, so if you get this number called, it's the scam number is 884-217-8580. They told her that if she did not call them back and make arrangements to get that paid, then the power bill was going to cut off. Well, this person was smart enough to not fall for it and called Duke Energy, and Duke Energy said, no, we don't do stuff like that. That is a scam, so thanks for ignoring it. So you might get those kind of calls, and it's important that you pay attention to who it is calling and what they're asking you to do. And if they're asking you for money, asking you for Social Security numbers or bank card numbers, it is a scam. Legitimate companies do not do that kind of thing. I appreciate this lady sharing that information with us so I can pass it on to you. Here's Jessica now with the 911 Communications Center Tuesday Morning Report. Jessica, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. What's on that report for today?
In the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Centers processed 516 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 36 EMS calls, Rescue 17, Sheriff's Office Law Enforcement responded to 143, Forest City to 93, Lake Lure to 8, Rutherford to 51, Spindale to 49, Cliffside respond to a structure fire assisted by Sandy Mush, SDO in Ellenboro. Forest City respond to an industrial fire alarm. Hudlow respond to an industrial fire alarm, and Shingaholla respond to a motor vehicle accident. And that's all we've got today.
Thanks, Jessica. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
Here's Ruby Taylor now with reporting news from the Shiloh Danieltown Oakland Fire District. Ruby, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report today?
Well, the fire department had one call, and it was to assist Cliffside on a structure fire. And on my birthday calendar, I got Vicki Dixon having birthday today, and hope she has a nice day. Signs are in the secrets today and going to the thighs tomorrow. Jim, that's all I got.
All right, Ruby, I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Gary Wilson's reporting now from up in the mountains, up around the Fairfield Mountains Fire District in Bills Creek community. And on this terrific Tuesday morning, Gary, how are you?
I'm doing good, Jim. How you doing?
Doing good. Glad it's Tuesday.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice warm summer-like day today for the next 3 days, sounds like, so I'm ready for that. Sitting on about 47 degrees right now, and we'll get up in the low 80s today and maybe the mid-80s or higher the next couple of days, so I'm all about that. I'm ready for summertime.
It feels like summer for sure.
Yep, sure does. And we've been quiet up here, no calls the last 24 hours for us or Bills Creek that I'm aware of, so everything off to a quiet start this morning, and hopefully it'll stay that way, and everybody get out and enjoy this warm weather and get them gardens planted now.
Yeah, it's time, isn't it?
Get some of them Bills Creek tomatoes and corn coming in.
Yeah. We probably have had our last really cold snap, don't you think?
I think so. I think we're probably getting pretty well clear of it right now.
Yep. I hope so anyway. I'm ready to see the tomato plants start growing.
I am too. I'm ready for it.
Yeah. All right, Gary.
I was planting a bunch of them out here in Bills Creek yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Some of the fields out here, they're putting them in the ground already, so hopefully get a good early start on them.
Nothing like a good homegrown tomato for sure.
No, they sure ain't.
All right, Gary. Thanks so much for the report, and I hope you have a great day.
All right, you too. Have a good one, Jim.
See you now. 7:23.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as the spring and summer colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
All right, it's Bob Hodge time. Bob Hodge, the reporter from the, excuse me, I got a little strangled there, Bob, from the Hudlow Fire District, and he's on the phone to give us an update. Bob, good morning. How you doing?
We're doing just fine up here this morning. Got a beautiful morning coming up here. And we had that.
That coffee went down the wrong way there for a minute. But I'm okay.
Yeah. Well, But we had that pink moon lighting up the sky last night there. So
I saw that, Bob. Wasn't that beautiful?
that was, and it was light all night last night there. You could look out, look like a light on the outside or something there. But, Jim, with the fire department, we answered one fire alarm call, and that's about all we had with the fire department, and everything's going along good so far up here this morning, so ain't too much to report. But look like we're going to have another one of them pretty warm days up here today, so get out and enjoy that sunshine.
I'm all for that, aren't you?
That's right. So I hope this cold weather maybe be about over.
I hope so.
Don't want to have no more frost here. People's getting out trying to plant their gardens and everything. So, but Jim, that's about it. Things are going along quiet, and you have a good day over there today.
Bob, thank you very much. Appreciate you being with us, and you have a wonderful day too. And I will see you tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
thanks, Bob. 26 minutes now past 7, 49 degrees. When you hear someone say, I have finally found a heating and air conditioning company I can depend on, and you say, who? And they say, Immaculate Heating and Air Conditioning. So then you find out more, and you learn Immaculate will do a spring checkup special on your air conditioner for only $49.99. Hot weather coming soon, and you want to be ready for it with a hassle-free air conditioner. Get it inspected during the spring checkup for the special price of $49.99. You can book online at www.immaculateheatingandair. That's immaculateheatingandair.com. Just click the green book online button at the top of the page or call 755-8150. By the way, this $49.99 spring special is for a limited time. Rutherford County Habitat for Humanity is seeking a Restore associate. Excellent customer service skills are a must. Applicants must work well with others and have a friendly and industrious personality. Must be able to lift 75 pounds, assist customers with merchandise, answer phone, and greet customers. Other duties include loading and unloading Restore donations and assist with overall store cleanliness. Applications available at the Habitat Restore at 686 West Main Street, Forest City. No phone calls, please. If you'd like to work and do this great service, this great ministry with Habitat Restore, please contact them. That phone number again, no phone number. You had to go by and see them at Habitat Restore, 686 West Main Street, Forest City. Now we're going up to the Shingle Hollow Fire District, and Tina White's on the phone. Good morning.
Well, you're in the wrong place.
Oh, that's right. I'm jumping ahead of you, Sue. I'm sorry. Over Cherry Mountain Fire District. Now you're there. How you doing this morning?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Hope you are, too.
I am doing well. Thank you.
Well, good.
I get excited sometime about my travels around the county.
Well, I know. It's hard to keep up with all of us, isn't it?
I just love to travel around the county.
Oh, well, I enjoy the morning report. I'm glad you do that. And I'm glad you reported on that scam. It's always somebody trying to get something for nothing, isn't it?
It's really pitiful that people can't find legitimate work. They got to scam people out of their money.
I know. I had a call a couple of days ago from. He said it was from Publishers Clearinghouse. He could hardly speak English, and I had won $2,005,000. I said, "Oh, wonderful! I'll be watching for him to come to my front door with roses and balloons," and I hung up on him.
Smart girl.
They're something all the time. You get.
Yeah, I don't know how many times my car warranties run out.
Oh gosh, I know. And we get letters, we get phone calls. It looks like they'd give up sometime if they don't. Well, let's see. I have absolutely no birthdays or anniversaries on any of my calendars this morning. But we have anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day. And in my announcements, the First Broad Baptist Church will be having Memorial Day service May the 2nd. And their guest singers will be the Golden Valley Crusaders. So everyone's invited to come out for Memorial Day. And so far, I reckon that's the only announcement I have. It's just quiet and calm over this way, looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
Thanks, Sue. You enjoy your day as well, and I will see you tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. 7:30.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers of Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. They continue to strive hard to keep that honor. Come on in and see for yourself. Take a look at the all-new design 2021 F-150 or reserve an all-new 2021 Bronco coming in the spring. Don't miss out on the automobile you've been wanting at the Sisk Family Ford price. Take your pick while the picking is good on Oak Street in Forest City.
I know a man that rented his tux from Joyce Bridal. He was going to be in a wedding or sing or do something at a wedding. He rented his tux from Joyce Bridal and could not have been more happier than if he'd gone someplace else out of town and spent his money somewhere else. He spent his money right here at home with Joyce Bridal. Got a great looking outfit, and he was well pleased with the service he got there as well. You will be too. If you're looking for a dress for a bridal wedding, bride's attendants, groom's clothing, Joyce Bridal can fill you up to the brim with good personal service. Plenty of jewelry, too, for the ladies. Plenty of beautiful and stylish jewelry for any occasion. If it's been a while since you've been in Joyce Bridal, it's worth a look around. And if you want to pay your utility bill somewhere and don't want to mail it in, you can go out there and pay all kinds of bills, utility, water, power, phone, credit cards. Just pay any kind of bill there as well. They're open Monday through Friday from 10 to 6, on Saturdays 10 to 4:30. And you'll be glad you shopped at home, as this gentleman I was talking about renting his tux from over there. He was very pleased with Joyce Bridal there in the Tri-City Mall. Now we got over to the Drop-In Family Mart in Bostic. And Audrey, how you doing?
I'm good, Jim. How you doing?
Doing very well. You busy this morning?
Yeah, being quite busy. Opened the door at 6, and boy, we just been at it.
Good. I'd like to hear that.
That's right. Jim, I'd just like to mention the girls are back this morning cooking breakfast, and we got any kind of biscuit you would want, a good gravy biscuit. And, sometimes I forget to mention, but we do a breakfast pizza back there, and, it's awesome.
I've heard it was.
Yeah, it's really good, and like to encourage everybody to stop by and see the girls back there this morning. And if they don't make it, we're doing a sloppy joes and 6 wedges for lunch today, and that's $3.99, which is a good price. And I'd like to run through and let everybody know what kind of specials we're doing the rest of the week. Let's see, tomorrow we'll be doing a meatloaf day with 2 vegetables, and then on Thursday we'll be doing ribs. And then on Friday, we have fish day. So, they got a lot happening back there in the deli, and like to encourage people to stop and see everybody.
I like the fact that you have such a variety in your choices of food to eat back there. It's not just one burger. You got a lot of different things. People can change their menu every day and enjoy something.
That's right. Yes, sir, that's right. And over in our meat market, we got Gene Owens back there cutting meat, and I'd like to encourage people to stop and see him and say hello. We just recently added him to our meat market back there. He's an awesome guy. He's cut meat for many years, and he was with Bilo's in Rutherfordton, and now he's here and doing great things back in the meat market. And as of today, our sales run through today, and they will change tomorrow. But we got ground chuck today for $2.99 a pound, the big family packs. And then we have a fresh salmon going on back there at $9.99 a pound, which is really great. And we've added the grass-fed ribeyes and grass-fed hamburger back there for people. So we'd like to, everybody come by and see what we've added to the meat market.
Sounds good. I like that.
Yes, it does.
Well, I enjoy.
And then we'll have.
Go ahead.
Well, we will have fresh produce arriving in the morning. So just let everybody know that also to come by.
It's always a pleasure to shop at the Drop-In Family Mart there in Bostic. It's always a pleasure to talk with you as well.
Same to you, Jim, also.
I look forward to seeing you next time. You have a wonderful day.
Hey, you too, and bye-bye.
Bye. Drop in Family Mart there in Boston at 7:35 on this terrific Tuesday morning, and we'll head up to Shingle Hollow next. I believe I've got my compost worked out right now.
Good morning. These are your headlines. Market declines, unemployment, oil prices. These can be pretty scary. Hi, I'm your Edward Jones financial advisor, Andrew Tisdale, and I'll work with you to help you understand the impact of these just short-term events and how it's not going to affect your long-term goals. We can provide the tools and the reasoned, disciplined approach on how to invest. So please, don't let these headlines derail your long-term financial strategy. Call us today, 828-287-9197. Our office is located in the Food Line Plaza in Rutherford. This was Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, and a member of the SIPC. Bye.
All right, now we're heading up toward Shingle Hollow. We'll get that copy right this morning. And Tina, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I've been looking for you for about 3 phone calls.
I love that anticipation, don't you?
It's a pretty morning up here. The sun's not real bright, but I think it's going to come on up here a little bit and get warmer. It's 50 degrees. The fire departments were all quiet and no birthdays. So,
wow.
How about the moon last night?
Wasn't it beautiful, wasn't it?
I said, Steve, come out here and look at this moon. It was huge and pretty.
It was pink moon. Pink moon, they called that last night.
Well, no wonder I like it. Pink's one of my favorite colors.
Yep. That's a rarity. That kind of moon, that color doesn't happen very often, but it was rare last night, and I'm thinking, what is it, another 5 years maybe it does it again. But it was beautiful. It'd been good to have made a video of that moon last night.
I'm sure David Robbins has got some pictures. Just hadn't searched this morning to see them.
Well, it's certainly a quiet morning most places around the county, and so I'm glad to hear that. Maybe things have settled down. Maybe that moon got to everybody. But the full moon usually brings them out.
Yeah. Well, the police report wasn't as long as the other day, though.
That's
so
right.
Maybe they'll come out tonight.
Yeah.
In nursing, if there's a full moon, you just plan to work. You're going to do double the work.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Mm.
Police calls are much more rampant during a full moon. All right, Tina, you have a wonderful day up there, and behave yourself, and I will see you tomorrow.
Okay, Jim. Have a great day and be safe.
Bye. 7:38 and 49 degrees here at WCAB Studios in beautiful downtown Whiteside Road.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Union Mills is our next destination. And we're going to talk to Brenda Kelly. Brenda, how you doing this morning?
I'm fine. How about yourself on this terrific Tuesday? Do you wash your tongue and teeth and you can't do a thing with or yet, or what word you supposed to use?
I got strangled on my coffee a while ago, and I hadn't been able to get my mind cleared out from that yet. Sometimes the coffee goes down the wrong slot.
It must have been some strong coffee.
It is pretty strong. I make it pretty strong. Sometimes it's so strong it yells at me back in the back. Jim, can we get another cup? Have you ever received any scam calls?
Oh, I get them all the time. The people, they'll call and say, I'm calling about your car warranty that's run out, and you need to extend it, and then they'll call something about credit card. And then I get one that says This is Molly from Amazon, and there's been some suspicious activity on your Amazon account, and I don't have none of that.
I get those too. We don't have an Amazon account either, but we have that same suspicious transaction on our account. I thought, how can that
There
how
was
can
one
that
day
be?
last week that I call her Molly Amazon. I waited and punched in the number 1, and this foreign-speaking person come on the phone and said, "How can I help you?" And I said, "I don't want you to call me no more. I don't have an Amazon account, and I don't want one." Well, that was the wrong thing to do. They called me every 4 minutes from then till after 8 o'clock.
Really?
Yes.
Just to aggravate you think?
Yeah. So I'd say hello, and if they didn't say nothing, I hung it up.
Yep, that's the way I do it
Somebody told me that the people get paid by how many calls they make, so I guess they just pick one and aggravate them to death. But I get them every day. Then I got one yesterday that was something of the something AMU or ASU or something. I said, "What is that?" And they said, "Oh, this is a university." And I said, "I don't think so."
University.
Yeah.
Maybe they still have you. Maybe they still have your diploma waiting on you to pick up.
I don't think so. But yeah, it's awful that everything's made so public anymore. There was a time when, and my number shows up private or not listed or something. So somebody's had to give it to them, sold it to them or something.
We had one this morning on our voicemail at home. Just heard it this morning before we left. They were calling, saying that they were calling from I believe she said Kmart Prescription Center, and we're due to have our prescription refilled. To please call this number. There is no Kmart around here, and we have never got any prescriptions filled at Kmart. So I don't know what that was all about. So we just ignored that one.
Yeah, no, we don't have no Kmart, that's for sure. I don't know if there's any left anywhere, big triple with.
I don't know either.
But they're few and far between if they are.
Well, I wouldn't have a prescription filled there. I'd go to one of our local pharmacists and have it done.
That's right. That's exactly right. But we hope everybody's having a good day. Just be aware of the scams. I'm like you. Don't give any information out. Don't give no numbers, no Social Security. No, they've already got your phone number, so that don't matter. No bank account number or nothing. Just hang up. Well, let's see. I've got 40 degrees on the front porch. That's 46 degrees. 46, I'm sorry. And I've got 2 birthdays today. My grandson, Caleb Thompson, and little David's brother, Dylan Stouffer. So we hope these people have a great old big day on their special day. And in ways of announcements, on May the 7th, Jacktown Ramblers will be at the Union Mills Learning Center. The music starts at 7. They'll have a meal beginning at 6, and the cost of the meal is $5. And you don't have to pay for the band, but they do have a tip jar for them. And other than that, I don't have nothing. So we're just looking for a good day.
Well, it's going to be a beautiful day for sure. So I hope you can enjoy it.
Yeah. It was pretty yesterday. It was windy to start with, but it was pretty.
Yeah, that wind's going to be a factor this week some too. It's going to wind gusting to 15 miles per hour a lot of days. So, it'll just blow that pollen down the road. Get it out of your.
There you go.
Get it out of your face.
There you go.
Brenda, have a wonderful day.
Have a good one. We'll catch you later.
See you now. And we'll check back in with Ellen Burrow and Luther Gilligan in just a moment.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Cheryl, have you been to the Homeworks Design Center inside Henson Building Materials in Forest City?
Oh, yes. Shana, David, and William are incredible at designing kitchen and bath cabinetry for my new she shed.
Your what?
And they have a full line of windows and doors on display in their 5,000 square foot showroom. And they'll install any ones you pick out for me.
Oh, you're too good to me.
I know. With selling and installing, it's basically one-stop shopping.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Now it's Ellenboro time, and that's where Luther Gilligan is there this morning, drinking coffee and telling lies and stomping toes and whatever he does over there in Ellenboro. Luther, good morning.
Good morning. You are not nice.
Well, what made you say that?
You're not supposed to tell things like that, whether it's true or not. You're not supposed to say so.
Well, I do that. I do that because we're friends. Friends can be honest with each other.
I know. Boy, Mommy say if you can't say something good about somebody, say nothing at all. I said, well, don't talk about them much. Can't say anything good to say about them. But we're having a good morning down here, though. Coffee's good, biscuits are good, conversation is good, and the bull's good. But it's not a whole lot going on. See, far from had 2 cars, went down to Cliffside on Structure Far yesterday, got down and back Chase and canceled Mass, so I just turned around the church parking lot, came back. And then last night they had one medical call. They're quiet this morning, just sitting around there enjoying a cup of coffee. And just nothing else going on down here, Jim. So we're going to have something going on there Saturday. I got to keep in mind the big time-wide yard sale will be Saturday. Everybody's invited to stop by and check out the wares. You have a yard sale in your yard, or come on out on the Depot Street and set up out there. And that's put on by the Women's Club here. So just come on down. And nothing else going on, so you have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow, Luther. Thanks.
All right, take care now.
Bye-bye. And it's time for birthdays and anniversaries for this 27th day of April 27th, 2021. If you're celebrating a birthday today, then we'd love to hear from you. Love to give you a big shout-out. Wish you happy. And you can call now. We've cleared the phone lines for you. That's 287-3356, 287-3356. If you're calling outside the area code of ours, it'd be 828-287-3356. And we'd love to hear from you, too. Birthdays and anniversaries coming up next. Now, wouldn't it be nice to get medical attention and not have to leave your home? Now you can, thanks to Remote MD. Remote MD is pleased to announce they have initiated a telemedicine program for residents in North Carolina. The telemedicine program is available to all residents in North Carolina, including Rutherford and Polk counties. It is designed to treat common medical illnesses right from your home. Now, isn't that great? No appointment is necessary, no waiting for days to see someone. This is a wonderful opportunity for people who are struggling financially or have a complicated insurance plan. But your health is important to you, and you want attention now. There are no copays or deductible, and unlimited usage programs start at just $59.99 a month. Learn more about this program. Contact Remote MD today at www.remotemd.net. Again, that's www.remotemd.net. That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Happy birthday. No birthdays called in today, so we're sailing along. Sail along, silvery moon. No birthday today, but perhaps tomorrow. There will be people born on tomorrow's date. Stand by now. We have Keys to Confident Living coming up. We'll take you down memory lane with some classic oldies. Andrew Tisdale due to be in the Blue Room a little after 8 o'clock this morning. Right here on WCAB's Morning Wake Up Call.
To live above with saints we love, Lord, that will be grace and glory. To live below with saints we know, well, that's another story. Adam and Eve probably had difficulty getting along with one another, especially after they ate themselves out of house and home. Cain, their eldest son, killed his brother and then had the nerve to ask, "Am I my brother's keeper?" We can tend to be very self-centered by nature, thinking only of our own needs and desires. A great many books have been written about how to get ahead by climbing over someone else to get there. But getting it whatever the cost is contrary to the teachings of Scripture. The founder of the Salvation Army was not able on one occasion to attend the International Convention because of illness. The conference was anxious to hear some word from the leader, so he was encouraged to send a telegram. When the message arrived, it contained only one word. Now, here was the leader of this international organization sending all the delegates just one word. But what a powerful word that became. The telegram simply said, others. That was the founder's wish for the delegates. Serve others. Jesus reminds us that it is more blessed to give to others than to keep for ourselves. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for today's Key to Confident Living are available in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
This is 100.9 FM and the Mighty 590.
Sherry Preston. Changing the rules for wearing the masks. The CDC is expected to announce today some guidelines for those who have been fully vaccinated and are outside.
I think we're going to see a pulling back of the mandates. I think certainly when you're outside, out and about, unless you're in large, crowded groups, there's really very, very little risk of being outdoors.
Brown University School of Public Health Dean Dr. Ashish Jha. More than half of U.S. adults are now received at least one vaccine dose. More than 90 million people have gotten both the shots and are fully vaccinated. ABC News medical contributor Dr. Ryan Rivera.
I think we're reaching a much harder stage of vaccination here, where those who are very enthusiastic about getting the vaccine, for the most part, have already received it. So we're down to those who often have logistical barriers to getting vaccinated, or those who might have some vaccine hesitancy.
Some places are offering incentives to get the shot. $100 in West Virginia, a walk-in clinic before prom in Indian, Minnesota.
We want to make sure that we're targeting the teens to make sure that they know they're valued.
That's the local health board member, Laz Carrion. The signatures have been verified. California Governor Gavin Newsom will face a recall election this fall. In Los Angeles, ABC's Alex Stone.
It's just like in 2003 when many names started jumping in already. Former porn star Mary Carey is again running in the recall just like she did in 2003. Of course, back then, Arnold Schwarzenegger won. This time, so far, the most well-known Republican name to oppose Newsom is former Olympic athlete Caitlyn Jenner. But the most populated areas are still very blue here, like L.A. and the San Francisco Bay Area. Successfully recalling Newsom is going to be a major challenge.
California loses a congressional seat thanks to the 2020 census count. So does Illinois, Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and New York, which would have lost 2 seats if there had been just 89 fewer people. Texas, Colorado, and Florida among the states picking up seats. You're listening to ABC News.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
Oklahoma's governor signing new restrictions on abortion.
Oklahoma's Republican-controlled Senate passing the anti-abortion measures signed by Governor Kevin Stitt, GOP State Senator Shane Jett.
Abortion kills babies in the womb.
Among the new provisions, performing abortions to be added to the list of unprofessional conduct by doctors. Doctors who perform an abortion after detecting a heartbeat would be guilty of homicide. Democratic State Senator Carrie Hicks voted against.
This piece of legislation is a slap in the face to our medical community. This is a legal medical procedure.
Any Oklahoma abortion will now have to be performed by an OBGYN. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Apple's making it easier for iPhone and iPad users to shield some of their private data from apps. An update to iOS will allow users to decide which apps get the data. Cybersecurity expert Scott Spiro says it could hit a lot of businesses, from Facebook all the way down to local shops. And the bottom line,
by leveraging Facebook services, a small business owner can pay for advertising, and it's actually priced pretty well, and you can target that to the specific type of buyer that you're looking for.
Cyber thieves hacking Washington, D.C.'s police department. They are demanding a ransom, or else they say data stolen, including intelligence reports and jail records, will be handed over to local gangs. Toyota is hitting the gas on self-driving cars. It says it's buying the self-driving unit from ride-sharing company Lyft for more than $500 million. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly. Don't miss out on Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. If your car could use a spring cleaning, stop by for great deals on everything you need to keep your car looking new. Like Mother's California Gold Wash and Wax, just $4.99 for a 64-ounce bottle. That's a $6 savings. Visit the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts today or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
It's that time of the year where we're tracking the muggy meter. The humidity is expected to increase for this week as our temperatures heat up. Today, we'll top in the low to mid 80s with mostly sunny conditions around. Overnight, we'll fall into the upper 50s. Look for highs in mid to upper 80s tomorrow. We're going to get a nice taste of summer. Rain chances built in again. By the time we head into Friday this weekend, looking cooler and drier. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And currently right now we are at 51 degrees, according to Peter, the meter reader. Beautiful day shaping up here in the foothills. We hope you can get out and enjoy that, at least walk in the sunshine a little bit today and enjoy the beauty of the day and listen to the birds sing. It's 5 minutes after 8 o'clock, and it's Tuesday morning. That means it's Andrew Tisdale Day here in the Blue Room. He's here live in living color, sitting across from me here in the Blue Room to talk about making sense of our investing. Mr. Tisdale, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm great.
Good.
And you like onions?
I do love onions. I love Vidalia onions particularly. They're so sweet. You know, they're sweet. They're not hot.
Yeah.
They're fresh. These are fresh from the farm.
You like wild onions?
No. Well, I drank some milk when I was growing up, and the cows had some chewed in the wild onions.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a terrible feeling. Terrible taste. We bought milk from somebody, and their cows got into the wild onions.
Mm-hmm.
They had to throw all that milk out. Had to throw all that milk out. But other than that, I love onions. Makes you sleep good.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll try. If anybody ever says, what kind of food do you like? I'll say about anything but raw onions. No, but onions do season food well and all that. I just have never been able to take chopped onions or an onion and just feel like it's good.
Yeah.
But you say it's good for you, so
it is good for you. Even a lot of nutritionists will tell you that onions are good for you.
Recommended by Jim. It can't go wrong.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely.
Tell us what's going on in your mind.
Let's take a look around and let's look at all the prices, building prices, gas prices, food prices. What we're experiencing is some inflation. And anytime that there is inflation, the consumer people, common people like us, is the ones who's going to feel a lot of it because it is restricting us in the manner of how much we can spend and what we can spend on. It's called purchasing power. So my dollar in inflation is not really as valuable today as it was yesterday because my dollar cannot buy as much as it did. But is that always a negative thing? There are opportunities in every market. There's opportunities in every environment. So what we're going to talk about today is what can I do? What is something I can put money into that's going to help me keep pace or go ahead of inflation with that? And one thing that we want to talk about today is in bonds. You said, well, bonds, when inflation goes up, the rates stay the same. That means that's not necessarily true. There are bonds. It's called TIPS. It is called Treasury Inflation Protected. And when those TIPS are available, what you do is the value rises with the inflation rate, and also the yield is now based upon the new value and not what you put in. So there are opportunities out there to combat inflation. We are looking at it. We see it. It's going around us. If you are thinking about trying to invest, or if you have money just sitting around and it's not getting but 0.01 or 0.001 somewhere, then think about some of these tips. In Treasury Inflation Protected, they will move up as inflation rises, and your yield on it will also be on the new value, not the initial principal.
Well, 1.0 is better than 0.001.
Gosh, how much of a percentage is that? 0.001, 1.0, but 0.00. Yeah, that's a huge increase. Huge increase.
Huge increase. All right, if you need any answers to your questions, you can call Andrew Tisdale at Edward Jones, 173 Railroad Avenue. Post office, phone number is 287-9197, 287-9197. Or you can reach him at andrew.tisdale@edwardjones.com.
That sounds great. Let's go get some coffee.
Oh, I've got a cup right over behind me here.
You got any onion in it?
I wish I had a bee onion.
Y'all have a good
great
week.
Day. Andrew Tisdale with Henry Jones speaking to us this morning. Be back with us next Tuesday morning. 10 minutes after 8 o'clock, we got some news from here and there, including that sheriff's report coming up.
Celebrate greater at Carolina West Wireless. Greater deals, greater savings, and greater ways to stay connected. Like $350 off the new iPhone 12. Love the device you already own? Bring it in when you switch and save $150. Plus, get 4 lines with unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. All on our powerful nationwide high-speed network. Stop by Carolina West Wireless and celebrate greater today. Carolina West Wireless. Go stay connected. Certain restrictions or conditions may apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
Well, at 10 minutes after, let's look at some stories from here and there this morning as a big success on the pill drop on Saturday. The pill drop collected 134.2 pounds of drugs where folks dropped off at those drop boxes. Get those unused pills out of your house, which is a protective matter for everybody. Saturday's annual spring pill drop take-back collected approximately 134.2 pounds of medications. Part of a joint effort by United Way, Safe Kids, and the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office, the annual collection of discarded and unwanted medication is an effort to keep the public safe and prevent pill diversions or pollution into waterways by improper disposal of drugs. It's not a good thing to flush them down the commode. It goes into the waterworks at some point. The various medications, such as prescription medication, over-the-counter medications, and controlled substances, were collected during this pill drop and will be incinerated at another location. Last year's pill drop was suspended due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but they picked it back up this year, and it was quite successful. Stakeholders of the effort expressed their appreciation to the citizens of Rutherford County for turning out and contributing to this cause. As a reminder, there are permanent drop boxes at the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office and all other municipal police departments during normal business hours, Monday through Friday. Well, on Saturday, April 24th, Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy and Chase High School were among the top Quiz Bowl teams from small high schools for the 2021 Small School National Championship Tournament to determine who was the best. This year's SSNCT was held online through Zoom calls. While both Thomas Jefferson and Chase finished short of the championship, they were among the elite squads vying for the top spot. Quiz Bowl is a competitive academic interscholastic activity for teams of 4 students. Quiz Bowl teams use buzzers to answer questions about science, math, history, literature, mythology, geography, social science, current events, sports, and popular culture. The matches feature a blend of individual competition and team collaboration, and Thomas Jefferson Classic Academy sent 2 teams to the 2021 SSNC team. Chase's team in the traditional public schools division was captained by Diego Alvarez, who was joined by Nathan Baker, Aiden Hawkins, Eric Labero, Jada Mosley, and Gracie Vess. The team was coached by Beth Carroll, who was assisted by Zachary Parker. Congratulations to all those who participated in the 2021 Small School National Championship Tournament. We appreciate your efforts. Well, there's a Forest City, a local girl who's aspiring to be an actress and star in her short film. She's already an actress, but she's wanting to do a short film and get backers for it. Those participating in the Forest City's nightlife over the weekend might have found downtown the setting for a movie. Well, kinda. Just as many were going to bed or at least thinking about a night's sleep, a day's work was underway in downtown Forest City. Taylor Grace Davis spearheaded the filming of a short movie at the Twisted Pair after hours Friday and Saturday. According to an article in the Daily Courier, joined by a crew of about 11, along with various production equipment, Davis is looking to create a short film, 7 to 8 minutes long, in hopes of pitching the pilot of her Always in pursuit of financing the complete version of her story. Davis, 23, has written Always in hopes of getting the story noticed by movie folks and potential investors. You'll hear more about her. She has been invited to be on this radio show, and we'll see if we can get her in to talk more about her film and what she's doing in that respect. Let me again give you a heads up. We talked about this earlier during the 7 o'clock hour. Let's talk about this again because many of you are bombarded with these scams just about every day, several times a day. I got a call from a lady yesterday, I believe it was, or Friday. What is today? Tuesday? Maybe it's yesterday. About a scam that she received. They pretended to be from Duke Energy, saying her power bill was unpaid, was delinquent, and if she didn't pay it in 30 minutes, they were going to turn the power off, and they gave her a number to call to make sure she got the right money to them at the right time. Well, she realized that was a scam. She didn't do it, but they gave the number they gave her. So in case you get this call from anybody, Duke Energy, claiming to be Duke Energy, and that your power bill's delinquent, we're going to turn your power off in 30 minutes if you don't call this number and make arrangements. The number they left was 884-217-8580. So if you get that number from anybody, any utility company, saying they're going to turn your power off or turn your water off or cancel your insurance or whatever the case may be, it's generally a scam. They don't call you and tell you that. If you have a problem with utility company, they will write you a letter, tell you you need to get it corrected and the proper way to do it, but they will not make threatening phone calls to you telling you they're going to cut your power off in 15, 20, 30 minutes. And they want you to, because of the urgency, they think they're creating the urgency, you'll do something. So, oh, I don't want to cut my power off. What will I do? So you call that number, and then they get all the information about your bank account, and there you are stuck. So please do not do that. If you get a scam call, just let it go on by, hang up on them, report them to the sheriff's office so they can do something about it if they can. Speaking of breaking the law, we weren't, but we can. Even though she never knew it, the long arm of the law has been reaching out its hand for 20 years to nab Karen McBride. What did she do? She didn't shoplift anything. She didn't break into anybody's home. Her crime, and they've been pursuing her for 20 years, her crime was never returning a copy of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That was rented from an Oklahoma video store in 1999, according to KOKH-TV. McBride said she never knew about the charges and only found out when, after getting married in Texas, she went to change the name of her driver's license. She said, I went to change my driver's license during this COVID thing. You had to make an appointment. And so I sent them an email, and they sent me an email, and they told me that I had an issue in Oklahoma, and this was a reference number for me to call this number, so I did. The number connected her to the Cleveland County District Attorney's Office. That was when she learned that all these years she had been wanted by the law. First thing she told me was felony embezzlement, so I thought I was going to have a heart attack. She told me it was over the VHS tape, and I had to make her repeat it because I thought, this is insane. This girl is kidding me, right? Nope, she wasn't kidding. And didn't it take back something? I have never watched that show in my entire life, just not my cup of tea, McBride said. Meanwhile, I'm a wanted felon for a VHS tape. Folks, how long has it been since you've rented a VHS tape? I mean, I didn't try to deceive anyone over Samantha Sabrina the Teenage Witch, I swear, McBride said. McBride says she now knows why she was let go from some jobs she has held over the years. This is why, because when they ran my criminal background check, all they're seeing is those two words, felony embezzlement. Life may be changing for the better, though. The Cleveland County District Attorney's Office was said it will dismiss the charge. Now McBride needs to clear her name. Just because the District Attorney's Office dismissed the case, it doesn't make the case completely go away. It's not as simple as just filling out a form. You actually have to sue the state of Oklahoma and clear your record, which is going to cost her very much money. McBride called herself a victim of the system when it comes to this. It's a serious issue. It's caused me and my family a lot of heartache, financially because the positions I've lost because of those two words. Something's got to give, she said. The article appeared in the Western Journal, and she was surprised to know that she was a felony embezzlement on a VHS tape from 10 years ago. Go figure, right? Well, let's see what else is going on. Cops used a stun gun on a woman accused of assaulting kids for not wearing masks. Wrestling superstar The Undertaker gives powerful testimony. I wasn't living my life for God. Governor shuts down grabbers, forbids state and local police from enforcing federal firearms. Woman charged with felony for failing to return a VHS tape that I just told you about. A lot of interesting things going on out there that we'll get to as time allows. Right now, though, I do want to mention to you that Rutherford County Habitat for Humanity is seeking an assistant manager for Restore 269. Applicants should be team-oriented, have excellent customer service skills, and a friendly and industrious personality. Physical labor, including lifting, required on this job. Retail management experience helpful. Send resume to RCHFH, Post Office Box 1534, Rutherfordton, 28139. No phone calls, please. Again, that resume address is RCHFH, Post Office Box 1534, Rutherfordton 28139. If you're interested in helping Rutherford County Habitat for Humanity as assistant manager, Restore number 269, that might be the job for you. Doing something like that for somebody. 21 minutes after the 8, Officer King gave us a report from the Sheriff's Department earlier this morning. We recorded it for broadcast at this time, and we'll have that in just a moment.
Smith's Drugs of Forest City is taking appointment times for the COVID-19 vaccination. There are 2 ways to schedule an appointment. First, go to our website at www.smithsdrugsfc.com and click on the COVID-19 vaccination tab. Then fill out the consent form, choose your group, and at that time you'll be able to choose an available appointment time. Second, you can just call our pharmacy to schedule an appointment time and we can help you fill out the consent form over the phone. We also at times do have some vaccines available later in the evening, and these are posted on Facebook when we do. If you have any questions or concern, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
All righty then. Let's see. Lost my notes here. We do have a few governors, senators, congressmen that have a backbone, and we'll find out more about those following 8:30 Sports Update. Right now, here is Officer King with our news.
In the past 24 hours, Sheriff's Department responded to 143 calls for service. There were 10 arrests processed in the jail, and the jail currently has 133 people incarcerated. On our incident reports, Jessica Tate from Farmside Drive in Forest City reported misdemeanor larceny. Looks like it was a larceny of 2 chainsaws. A Coy Evans from DePriest Road in Bostic reported breaking and entering and a larceny after breaking and entering. Looks like some building materials were taken in that incident. On our arrest reports, Ashley Hefner from Oak Springs Road in Rutherford was charged with 3 counts of possession of a controlled substance in jail. Received a $50,000 secured bond. Jacob Robbins from Old Church Street in Morrisboro was served with 4 counts of failure to appear on misdemeanor. Received a $19,000 secured bond. Amanda Ramsey from Marshall Lane in Rutherford was served with a 1-count failure to appear on misdemeanor. Received a $1,000 unsecured bond. Christopher Towery from Jupiter Lane in Bostic was served with 1 count of failure to appear on misdemeanor. Received a $500 unsecured bond. And a John Lawrence, listed at the Quality Inn Motel in Forest City, was served with a warrant for assault on a female and battery of an unborn child, and received a domestic violence hold on that. That's all we have for today.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. We start with hockey and the Carolina Hurricanes on the road last night against Dallas, where they fell 4-3 to the Stars in overtime. It was the second straight game the Canes lost in the extra session, but with earning a point, they clinched their third straight playoff berth. Losing aside, ensuring the team's postseason was key for head coach Rod Brindamore.
That's super important. I mean, with what do we got? 8 games left and we're in the playoffs. That's pretty impressive. I mean, I know we lost the game in overtime. We lost the talent show part. No, it's, you don't want to lose that, but we're not done. We got 8 games left. We're going to try to win all of them, but it's a good accomplishment for this group.
Carolina remains the top team in the Central Division. They're 2 points ahead of Florida with 2 games in hand and, like he said, 8 games left to go in the regular season. In the NBA, the Chicago Bulls moved closer to the last play-in spot in the East by beating the Miami Heat 110-102. The Hawks also losers to the Pistons, so there's no movement in the Southeast Division standings. Miami remains 2 games behind Atlanta. Charlotte's 3 games back. The Hornets, meanwhile, are riding a 2-game win streak for the first time in 2 weeks, and they look to make it 3 straight tonight when they host Milwaukee. They also hope to make it 3 in a row and sweep the season series against the Bucks. Charlotte's 2-0 against Milwaukee this season. They'll try to go for that sweep tonight against one of the top teams in the East. Angels two-way star Shohei Ohtani made history last night, becoming the first player in nearly a century to start a game on the mound while also entering the day, leading the majors in home runs.
0-1 pitch is rocked into right field. That's damage.
Oh, wow. Every time you think of Shohei Ohtani, you do have to think about Babe Ruth. Wow.
Pushes a bunt up the third baseline. Yeah, he can do that too.
The day after tying the MLB home run lead, the Japanese righty struck out 9 after a shaky first inning on the mound and also scored 3 runs, and driving in the last 2, and LA beat Texas 9-4. This is NCN Sports.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now. It's a tailgate party on game day. It's a welcome to the neighborhood. It's another anniversary of the start of something good. It's sharing Bluebell ice cream as the evening sun goes down. The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Notre Dame is one of the surprise teams in college baseball after being picked last in the division in the ACC. The Irish are ranked as high as number 6 nationally and have the second best record in the ACC behind Louisville. Notre Dame is swept a doubleheader at Boston College on Sunday to remain the only ACC team not to drop a conference series. The Irish won the second game 13-9 after trailing 9-0 in the 7th inning. A 12-run 8th fueled their biggest comeback win since 2009. Trevor Lawrence, the likely number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft later this week, has signed an endorsement deal with the cryptocurrency investment app Blackfolio. The star QB at Clemson, Lawrence is widely expected to be selected by the Jacksonville Jaguars in the draft, which starts Thursday night in sunny Cleveland. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
It's that time of the year where we're tracking the muggy meter. The humidity is expected to increase for this week as our temperatures heat up. Today, we'll top in the low to mid 80s with mostly sunny conditions around. Overnight, we'll fall into the upper 50s. Look for highs in mid to upper 80s tomorrow. We're going to get a nice taste of summer. Rain chances built in again. By the time we head into Friday, this weekend looking cooler and drier. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Thank you, Peter. Good morning, everybody. 53 degrees, sunny skies here in the foothills, even sunny skies up in Golden Valley, and 53 degrees up that way. Always good to have you folks listening and watching again online on the webcam at www.wcab59.com. Good morning, everybody. Let's look at some other stories from here and there. Don't forget, at 9:05 this morning is My Great America with Jim and Butch. Butch is in the building right now, ladies and gentlemen. In the building right now. Advent Health Doctor, they've come out saying that it's time to lift some restrictions. Last week, Governor Cooper announced that some restrictions will be lifted by June 1st. That includes mandatory social distancing, capacity limits, and mass gathering rules. So Advent Health Dr. Teresa Herbert thinks it's time to begin lessening restrictions. It's probably time to lift those restrictions, Dr. Herbert said, but we're going to have to watch numbers really closely. We don't want to have to go back into lockdown like they've had to do in Europe, but she thinks it's time to move forward. I don't want to say I told you so or anything like that, but I think I predicted back in February so that this stuff would be lifting out of here by June. Give the president a little time to make some movements in there and claim that he opened things back up for us. I said it'd probably be about June. So, and that's in the governor. Governor Cooper, of course, is following along the guidelines of what the president wants to do. I said a moment ago, I'm glad we have a few governors and a few senators from time to time that have enough backbone to do what they think's right for our country. Alabama Governor Kay Ivey, Republican, she's a lady, signed legislation into law April 23rd that prohibits transgender females, biological males, from joining real girls' sports teams, which will protect biological female athletes to compete on a fair playing field for scholarships and other athletic accomplishments, reads the law. She is prohibiting transgender biological males from joining girls' sports teams, which they will cause them the girls to have the better opportunity for their scholarships and accomplishments. The legislation, HB 391, was initially passed by the Alabama House 7419 in March, and then the Alabama Senate 25-5 on April 16th. Now look at the numbers here. 1719, they were in favor of keeping the males off the female teams. And 25 in the Senate were in favor of keeping the women off the team. But they were in the House, there was 19 lone liberals that said, oh, it's okay for the boys to play on the girls' team and compete with them. And in the Senate, there were 5 of them that said so. But anyway, transgender female biological male athletes Andrea Yearwood and Terry Miller, State Representative Scott Stenhagen, Republican from Hartselle, who introduced the bill, said in February, basically this bill, whatever your birth certificate says, is if it says you are a male or you are a female, that is the sport you play in K through 12 athletics. Now that's a common sense issue, folks. That's a common sense issue. If your birth certificate says you're a male, that means you got a little penis. If it says you're female, that means you don't. And if the little boys decide they're little girls and they want to play on the girls' team because they're not man enough to play on the men's team, it's been all kind of one-sided. Now this governor of Alabama is signing legislation into law that makes it illegal. I wish we had a governor like that, don't you? The law also declares the following. Physical differences between biological males and biological females have long made separate and sex-specific sports teams important so that female athletes can have equal opportunities to compete in sports. Physical advantages for biological males relevant to sports include, on average, a larger body size with more skeletal muscle mass, a lower percentage of body fat, and greater maximal delivery of anaerobic and aerobic energy than biological females. So they made a difference. The states of Idaho, Mississippi, and Arkansas have laws on the books similar to the one in Alabama. This bill is a shameful bill that is built on a web of lies and misinformation, says Democrat Harvey from one of the districts there in Alabama. He's an Alabama state director of the pro-LGBTQ lobby group Human Rights Campaign. Ultimately, HB 391 will not just hurt transgender kids, it will hurt all Alabamans because the consequences of this law, academic harm, expensive taxpayer-funded legal battles, and attorney's reputation will ripple across the state. Now, which is going to hurt worse in Alabama? If they open up the doors and say, okay, we think God made a mistake and you can be whatever you want to be, or we want to stick to the guidelines of the births and live that way, which one is going to be the most damaging to the state of Alabama or any state? The folks who are pro-LGBTQ, XYZ, they cry and whine about, oh, it's going to hurt our state, it's going to hurt our economy, it's going to hurt everybody, we should not do that. Well, why is it that the Judeo-Christian value folks have to change their principles and go along with those folks who believe otherwise. Seems like under this administration, that's what we're doing. We're having to change our way of thinking. We're having to do away with our Judeo-Christian values to go along with what they want to do. Why is that important? Why should they not abide by what we're planted in America? How we built America? Well, let's move on. You know, Newt Gingrich, he's been around a long time. He was Speaker of the House for a number of years, and he has made some comments briefly. And he says the Biden administration is deliberately anti-American, flies the gay flag at the U.S. embassies worldwide. Commenting on President Biden's first 100 days in office, Newt Gingrich listed several actions that Biden has taken to alienate countless Americans, including attacks on the Second Amendment, on the right to life, and even by flying the gay rainbow flag at U.S. embassies all over the world. What does that say to us? What does that say to those worldwide embassies when they're flying the gay rainbow flag? No administration in U.S. history has been this deliberately anti-American, said Newt Gingrich. No administration in U.S. history has been this deliberately anti-Americans. If you trace the history of America and the founding fathers and the presidents of the United States, they fought for what we stand for. Here we have an administration fighting against what we stand for. On April 24th edition of Fox News Channel's Justice with Judge Jeanine, host Jeanine Pirro asked Gingrich, what is going on with Joe Biden? He's pretty much done everything they wanted him to do, end quote. Gingrich replied, look, I think that the left has decided they're going to try to push all the regular Americans into a corner where they either have to fight, in which case they'll be attacked by the news media, or they just have to cave and then hide. See the plan? Push us all into a corner, and we fight our way out, and the news media is going to slaughter us. Or we just wimp down and say, well, okay, let them have their way. We don't want any trouble. We just let it go. If you listed every idiotic thing that the Biden administration has done in the first 100 days, you'd begin to realize whether it's threatening everybody who believes in the Second Amendment, or it's attacking everybody who believes in the right to life, or it's attacking people of traditional values who is appalled that this administration would fly the gay flag at American embassies all over the world. Gingrich went on to say you just go down item by item, and it's almost like they have a checklist of what we can do that will really truly infuriate traditional Americans. That's what it seems like, doesn't it? Well, let's see if we can tick them off a little more today. We'll go this way. We'll push that ribbon a little bit further. Gingrich said, I've never seen anything like it. And somebody asked me this afternoon, he said, I told them I couldn't imagine any administration which has been this deliberate anti-American and this deliberately committed to infuriating the majority of American people. Literally, in over 200 years of history, I can't think of a single administration that has been this radical and this hostile. I haven't lived 200 years, but I certainly, in my lifetime and my study of politics in history, I've never seen anything like it in my life. Never thought we would come to this point where the American people, well, I started to say American people would vote for that, but I'm not sure they did. But where the news media would be so in bed with this kind of thing that they would let it ride. Clyde? Well, Democrat James Tallarico, back to the transgender thing. James Tallarico, he's a Democrat, claims there are 6 genders in transgender sports debate. 6 genders. 6 genders. That's what one Texas Democrat claimed during a debate on a state bill aimed at protecting girls and women's sports. The bill would prohibit biological males from competing in female athletics that we talked about a while ago that Alabama signed. Putting common sense aside, this Democrat is fighting the transgender ban by saying gender is a spectrum. Texas State Representative James Tallarico said that modern science shows there are more than 2 genders and that oftentimes determining biological gender can be very ambiguous. Kamala Harris was so close to actually visiting the border during a recent trip, but it was the wrong border. Plus, climate activist Greta Thunberg is back, but there are 6 genders now. Did you know that? Male, female, and what you call it, and what you call it, and what you call it, what you call it, what you call it. I guess it's whatever they want it to be, and whatever the news people will buy and say, they are buying it hook, line, and sinker. You got Don Lemon over there on CNN saying, "Oh boy, we got somebody up there now." But it's amazing. I wish every state had a lieutenant governor like North Carolina's got. North Carolina's first black lieutenant governor, Mark Robinson, destroyed Democrats' scurrilous voter ID claims and obliterated their quest for total power. He spoke recently to a committee. He's North Carolina's first black lieutenant governor. The Republican is a born leader and one of the best speakers the party has had at this moment. He speaks from the heart, fearlessly, and crushes Democrat lies and woke nonsense. He doesn't hold back. He doesn't hold back, folks. Robinson recently spoke out against the Democrats in corporate America's dishonest criticism of Georgia's election law and slammed Democrats for insulting black people by claiming they're not capable of obtaining a free ID to be able to vote. Good for him. He calls the black experience in America overcoming slavery and Jim Crow, which was Democrat policy, an incredible story of victory. Lieutenant Governor Robinson hammers the Democrats for trying to seize unchallenged power over the entire country. And he's absolutely right. When they speak, they claim that African Americans are not smart enough to know how to get an ID. So we have to spoon feed them. They're smart Americans. They're smart enough to know how to get an ID. So why do we have to handhold them and say, hey, since you're not smart enough to understand how we're going to make sure that we don't get any voter ID in North Carolina or America? Folks, that don't make sense. You're downtrodden the black American community. They're smart people. They're capable of handling these kind of things. They're saying that you're not. But you are. You're capable of rising to success, as so many black Americans have already done in America. They've risen to great success. And many of them can't if the Democrat Party just keep from suppressing them and keep telling them, you can't do this. We need to hold your hand and spoon feed you. If it stopped doing that, the black community would rise above all of that and recognize that since the days of equal rights and the NAACP forming, the Democrat Party has done nothing but try to spoon feed them, hold them down, and keep them from understanding that it was the Republican Party that helped free the slaves. It wasn't the Democrat Party. They tried to hold them back. They didn't want to pass that amendment to give the blacks the right to vote. Republicans fought that. Abraham Lincoln, he fought to free the slaves, not the Democrat Party. But yet the Democrats keep saying, "Oh, you're not. We need to hold your hand. We need to feed you some milk and pablum and soda crackers and milk." You're not able to understand what. Yes, you are able to do that. You are able to do it, folks. Don't let them say you that stuff. You're able to live the life you want to live because of your intelligence. But they want you to think that you can't, so they can spoon feed you with something to keep them in power. I'm glad so many folks are beginning to recognize that. All right. George W. Bush, who has been called a moderate Republican, I guess, he has revealed finally who he voted for in 2020. He hasn't been on the good side of many Republicans since he spent 8 years silent during the Obama years, refusing to publicly criticize his successor, but then started speaking out against President Donald Trump, who was by any measure more successful at implementing a conservative agenda during his time in office. Bush's criticism of Trump likely led many to believe that he probably voted for Joe Biden in 2020. A significant number of so-called Republicans who worked in his administration backed Biden, so it was hardly a stretch to assume that George W. likely supported Biden as well for the same reasons. But the 43rd president didn't vote for Biden or Trump. During an interview with People, Bush revealed that he wrote in Condoleezza Rice, his second Secretary of State for president. Bush said she knows it, but she told me she would refuse to accept the office. So he wrote in Condoleezza Rice and didn't vote for Biden or Trump. Well, I'm happy to know he didn't vote for Biden. All I can say. But anyway, he's not been very conservative, and he's condemned the Republicans for their stand on some issues. But he was better than the alternative at the time. It's 8:45. I'll be back in just a moment.
Get the most out of your tax refund with Bark Mobile's Refund Rack-Up event. Come in this tax season and get a great smartphone at a price you can't beat. Absolutely free. That's right. Get the popular LG Stylo 6 or LG K51 for free when you switch to Bark Mobile. Then rack up even more savings with unlimited data for $45 a month with AutoPay and take your tax refund to the max. Visit a store today to get the most with Bark Mobile. Mobile made easy. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details or visit mybarkmobile.com/terms and conditions.
Tri-City Tire Service is your complete and dependable tire and auto service center. But they're more than just a tire store. They carry river rock, brick chips, mulch, feed, seed, fertilizer, stones, sand, and they're a certified U-Haul dealer. Tri-City Tire has a huge selection of Spartan mowers, the top-of-the-line mower that gives a precision cut every time. And now Tri-City Tire is your Wolverine boot headquarters for men and ladies' work boots, steel-toe boots, or hiking boots. Get all this and more only at Tri-City Tire Service, 221 Daniel Road in Forest City, or call them at 828-287-8778. There are plenty of drugstores in Rutherford County, but not all of them offer the same personal customer service that is offered at the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton. Laura Hodge and her team have trusted experience and professional service. You're not just a number to them, you're a friend. Make the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton your hometown drugstore at 200 Charlotte Road in Rutherfordton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 1, 287-7117.
Like Great America with Jim and Butch coming up at 9:05 this morning. You should hang around for that. Conversation about how great this country really is. In spite of all the scars and blemishes, we still have a great country. Well, why don't we have more stores like Home Depot? Home Depot has responded to the hordes of left-wing activists that are demanding its surrender over Georgia's election integrity law. It is not the statement the radical left was looking for. They wanted Home Depot to bow down and cow down to them and say, oh, okay, we'll do it. Home Depot said in a statement to Fox News the company would, quote, continue to underscore our statement that all elections should be accessible, fair, and secure, and support broad voter participation, and to continue to work to ensure our associates in Georgia and across the country have the information and resources to vote, end quote. Home Depot told Fox News, quote, we also promoted voter participation in the last election through our internal Get Out the Vote initiative, confirming 15,500 voter registration among our associates, the Home Depot told Fox News. And the left does not like it because they did not bow down to them with the pressure, as Coca-Cola did, Delta Airlines, Major League All-Star Game. Folks bowed down to them, like, oh, okay, what do you want me to do? Okay. Well, Home Depot said, we believe in integrity of elections, period. So there you go. We got some good companies. There you go. 8:49, just a few minutes away from all the ladies. Here's another governor that I admire and respect. Love a governor that's got a backbone. Governor of North Dakota has signed a bill to allow the display of the Ten Commandments in schools. Republican Governor Doug Burgum said schools in the state now are authorized to develop a policy for the proper display of any religious objects or documents. He said this law supports local control and gives school districts full control over whether to display any religious objects or documents. So he supports putting the Ten Commandments back in the classroom. Lawmakers by wide margins approved the plan in the State House and Senate after adding provisions concerning the display alongside other historical documents, which is okay. It's a historical document. It should be displayed like other historical documents. Courts across the country have allowed such displays of a variety of nationally duplicate documents, but the North Dakota School Boards Association has fought that plan, warning of lawsuits if they displayed the Ten Commandments. But the governor stepped aside from them and did it anyway. Supporters of the bill, including sponsor Senator Janny Murdahl of Edinburgh, said the threat should not prevent lawmakers from doing what they know is right. Go for it, girl. Listen to what she said. Senator, I'm assuming it's a lady, Jan Murdahl, said the threat should not prevent lawmakers from doing what they know is right. Don't be cowed down and intimidated by some threats from the left. Do what's right. The bill was approved 76-16 in the House and 39-8 in the Senate. It provides immunity for boards, teachers, and administrators from lawsuits, but lawyers said the provision might not be a shield in federal cases, but that's another threat. So thank goodness for governors like that one that said, don't worry about the left, let's do what's right. Well, 2 liberal professors at Tennessee Tech are facing disciplinary action after they publicly attacked another professor because of his political views. The university publication The Oracle reported Julie Gruber, who teaches German, and Andrew Smith, who teaches English and religion, violated the university's code of conduct by distributing a flyer in a public campaign against Andrew Donadio of the nursing school. Donadio filed a complaint with the university's Office of Human Resources after Gruber and Smith distributed the flyer on campus. The flyer stated, quote, "This racist college professor thought it would be a great idea to help start a Tennessee Tech chapter for this national hate group, where racist students can unite to harass, threaten, intimidate, and terrorize persons of color, feminists, liberals, and the like, especially their teachers. The organization created a national professor watch list to harass and intimidate progressive educators, including many women, African American, and Muslim professors." End quote. Professor Donadillo and Turning Point USA, you are on our list. Your hate, and your hypocrisy are not welcome at Tennessee Tech. No unity with racist. Hate speech is not free speech. So they're 2 liberal professors face punishment for attack on conservatives, as they should. Constitutional expert and George Washington University law professor Jonathan Turley said it appears that this mess all started because Donadillo applauded a bit too loudly at a meeting of the Putnam County School Board. Seriously, according to sites like Inside Higher Education, Gruber, as associate professor of German, was present at the meeting considering a demand to change the name of Allgood Middle School Redskins. The board rejected the proposal, and Donadillo, an assistant professor of nursing at Tennessee Tech, as well as local county commissioner, applauded loudly. What he did not know was that Gruber was sitting in front of him and found his applauding excessive and offensive. Gruber then contacted Smith, professor of English in Tennessee Tech. It's so on and so forth. It's like a bunch of kids playing a game, and I don't like the way you play your game, so I'm going to take my marbles and go home. You ever play marbles when you're a little kid and somebody got mad at it? They were his. I'm going to take my marbles. I'm going to quit. I'm going to go home because I don't like the way you're doing stuff. Well, James Dobson, I'll finish with this because I got to get out of here and make room, clear out the air for Butch back here in my great America. Make sure the air gets cleared. But James Dobson, many of you know James Dobson. He's the founder of the James Dobson Family Institute and the host of the Family Talk radio program. He several times has warned of the threat to America from the presidency of Joe Biden. And he said, quote, "Has our commander-in-chief completely lost his mind?" That would be because of the plans made clear by Biden's Democrat Party for a rollback in religious rights, promotion of abortion, and a requirement that taxpayers fund it, and other radical campaign points. Since Biden has taken office, the nation has been divided on topics including race, sexual orientation, politics, spending, socialism, rioting, police, and even what is a crime. Now they're wanting to defund police officers, and you see what's happening across America in cities where they're defunding police officers. They ought to double what they're paying police officers and hire more of them instead of them retiring and not hiring because they don't have the money. Dobson previously described the current administration plans as lunacy and warned of the moral depravity that they would bring. In a May newsletter, Dobson, who has advised 5 presidents on family issues, now says it already may be too late. Though I'm not a prophet, he says, it appears to me that divine judgment has befallen our nation. The evil one, Satan, who always has only been able to operate within perimeters permitted by the Lord, such as in Job 1:7-12, appears to be unleashing his assault on our culture with even greater ferocity. He is creating chaos in our cities, as you can see, chaos in our schools, as you can tell, and is stalking the halls of government. It is as though, because we have replaced the truth with a lie, God has given us over to a reprobate mind. Why do I draw such conclusion? It's because our nation is divided into warring camps, with violence and pestilence plaguing the land. 62 million babies have been murdered in cold blood, and hundreds of millions of additional federal dollars have been allocated to expand the unborn Holocaust. It's not enough that 62 million babies have been murdered in the mother's womb. Now they want to add more money to do even more. And the institution of marriage and the family are under siege. Our birth rate is falling, and our children are being taught hate and sexual perversion in the government schools and wanting taxpayers to pay for it. How can the Holy God look upon such debauchery and stay his righteous hand? James Dobson says he cannot. He cited the conclusion of Thomas Jefferson, who said, quote, God who gave us life gave us liberty. Can the liberties of a nation be secure when we have removed a conviction that these liberties are the gift of God? Indeed, I tremble for my country when I reflect that God is just, that his justice cannot sleep forever. End quote. That's James Dobson writing a letter to his constituents in an Easter newsletter. And there's more and more. But I've got to close out, finish up my round page this morning. Be back in a few minutes with my Great America with Jim and Butch. Right now, let's do this, and we'll be out.
This is 100.9 FM and the mighty 590. The best of both worlds, Rutherfordton.
The music's on us on WCAB.
That in an enclosed space, even a 6-foot buffer might not protect you from viruses exhaled by your neighbor. What it does do is to keep you from touching each other, preventing spread by person-to-person contact. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
India reporting 1 million COVID cases in just 3 days. Several countries pitching in to try to help. The U.S. sending PPE, oxygen, and raw materials to manufacture vaccines. ABC's Eva Pilgrim with more.
The U.S. is expected to manufacture and share some 60 million doses of AstraZeneca. About 10 million of those doses should be ready pretty soon, but we have not heard where those doses will be sent. And keep in mind, the FDA has to sign off a quality control for any doses before they leave the U.S.
President Biden announcing an executive order requiring federal contractors to pay their workers a $15 an hour minimum wage. In addition to Minneapolis, the Justice Department is investigating the Louisville Police Department for possible discrimination. That's a city where Breonna Taylor lived.
We are told that this will be sweeping, looking into all areas and aspects of the department, ranging from training to use of force to the execution of search warrants and whether or not race plays a factor. We know that it was a no-knock warrant that was executed on the home of Breonna Taylor last March. Officers shooting and killing the 26-year-old inside of her home during that botched police raid.
ABC Rachel Scott, the family of a man shot and killed by sheriff's deputies in North Carolina, demanding body cam video. They say they were only allowed to see 20 seconds of it. This is ABC News.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Nasal irrigation gets rid of germs by rinsing the nasal cavity, but neti pots are hard to use and, frankly, kind of gross. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. Millions use Navage for fast, all-natural relief from sinus congestion and allergies, and to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is easy to use, affordable, and comes with an absolute guarantee of satisfaction. You wash your hands and brush your teeth every day. Now it's time to start cleaning your nose with Navage. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
The FBI has now joined the investigation after Washington, D.C. Police Department says it was hacked. The cyber thieves making off with data including jail records and intelligence reports. They are demanding a ransom, or else they say the information will go straight to D.C. gangs. Political power shifts are coming. The 2020 census data now out. It's got several states shedding congressional seats. Census Bureau Acting Director Ron Jarman.
7 states will each lose 1 seat in the House. California, Illinois, Michigan, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia.
Texas picks up 2 seats, while Florida, North Carolina, Colorado, Montana, and Oregon each gain 1. California's governor now facing a recall. ABC's Alex Stone's in Los Angeles.
It's no surprise that supporters of the recall effort have enough valid signatures. It's appeared that way for weeks. Governor Gavin Newsom, who has ramped up a full campaign, now tweeting, quote, "This Republican recall threatens our values and seeks to undo the important progress we've made from fighting COVID to helping struggling families, protecting our environment, and passing common sense gun violence solutions. There is too much at stake," he writes.
California's last recall was in 2003, when then Governor Gray Davis was replaced by former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. And Kansas City Chiefs player Sean Culkin now the first to get paid entirely in Bitcoin. He says he believes in the future of cryptocurrency and he wants to prove it. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly.
Ready for an oil change? Our professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts recommend all the best products to get the job done right. Like 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil on sale now just $28.95. And we'll make sure you have all the supplies you need, including a filter, funnel, shop towels, drain pan, and more. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300. 9300.
It's that time of the year where we're tracking the muggy meter. The humidity is expected to increase for this week as our temperatures heat up. Today, we'll top in the low to mid 80s with mostly sunny conditions around. Overnight, we'll fall into the upper 50s. Look for highs in mid to upper 80s tomorrow. We're going to get a nice taste of summer. Rain chances built in again. By the time we head into Friday this weekend, looking cooler and drier. I'm meteorologist Rita Shearwood in the Weather Center.
And right now we have 59 degrees, warming up to 82 for a beautiful sunny Tuesday morning here in the foothills, and it's going to be beautiful all week long. Maybe a few showers coming in here on Friday evening, but the rest of the weekend, absolutely gorgeous. So let's embrace the springtime. It's here, 59 degrees currently. It's 9:05.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Good morning, Butch.
How are you, Jim? You know what I realized?
What?
I may have some control issues I got to deal with. I keep trying to rearrange your microphone for you. And I've got one right here. I just need to keep my attention there, don't I?
Keep your hands on your own mic.
Okay, now, listen, I'm not going to go anywhere near that thermonuclear engine that you had of commentary going this morning. There's a lot.
There really is a lot to talk about, and it's and this time here with you refreshes my mind and calms me down a little bit. It gets me.
Well, you know what? And I actually come in here sometimes to. I'm not being loose when I say this. To escape the education that I'm getting from Todd out in the lobby there. He told me today a couple of things. One is he said, you keep saying the word meeting wrong. I said, well, how do you say it? It's meeting. He says, no, in North Carolina we say meeting.
Drop the ing.
Meeting. So I'm sitting there saying to myself over and over, meeting. Because I know I've got I was going to say heavy taskmaster. I know I've got a taskmaster out there who's going to check me. But you know, Jim, what's so interesting about North Carolina, by the way, this is My Great America with Jim and Butch, and today we're going to be talking about onions. So just stay glued to your chair. We're going to tell you things about onions you never knew and give you the opportunity to be a grassroots activist and purchase some. But you know what? There are these words in North Carolina that still cause me to go into a place where I say, now, I wonder where that came from. You know what another word is here in North Carolina that I hear?
What?
And it's one that if you'd let it, we're called as followers of Jesus not to get agitated, not to get upset. We need to fly above all those storm clouds. It's the word yonder.
Yonder.
You ask somebody where some place is, and they say, over yonder. As if you've got a North Carolina GPS system that's in you that knows what that is. So, be the fastidious, studious person that I am, I wanted to know, what is yonder? What does it mean in North Carolina? And here's what I found. It's a mystical land in all North Carolinians. It's kind of like a microchip that they're born with, yonder. It's kind of far, kind of close. Well, it's past the blue house. It's just yonder. It's neither here nor there nor anywhere. It might be among the most philosophical things that anybody from North Carolina will ever say.
Well, you know what? In the Air Force song, here we go into the wild blue yonder.
Right. Off we go.
Yeah, off we go.
And then Todd made it very clear to me. These are the kind of conversations that we have, and that's why I've got my Bible, and I got to get myself anchored in what I know is truth. We had a conversation out there where he said, Butch, he said, for me, the best thing to do is tell me, not about the tree or about the blue house. Tell me, do I make a right-hand turn near the Bojangles? So you got to find the right reference points and not just point people off into the wild blue yonder. You know what, Jim? We just a segue here. We have this program in honor of Paul Harvey and Rush Limbaugh. It's hard to believe that Rush has been gone not too long, and yet his memory. And his impact continues to this day. I was reading something he said just a couple of years ago. He said, in order for the Constitution to work, you have to have law-abiding people. You have to have people willing to obey the Constitution. You have to have people that are willing to follow the law. And in this case, he said, Obama doesn't care. He is the law. And you know, it says in Scripture, the sins of the fathers follow into the second and third generation. And without getting into negativity here at all, you know, I will say that if you want to know what a Biden presidency will look like, just check out the 8 years of President Obama. I mean, they were so closely conjoined. And so, you know, as patriots, loving patriots, you know, people don't learn unless you love. I had a wonderful Zoom call last night with the multi-denominational, multi-ethnic church clergy council here in the county, and it's people that you wouldn't normally see interacting together, posing the question, what can we do to address matters of prejudice, racism, and a lack of love in our community? And it's very helpful. There were pointed questions that I asked, and Mark Morris, my colleague in this particular Zoom call, and so, you know, when there's trust and love, you're not afraid to go to hard places and talk about hard things. And Jim, it's one of the things that I value so much.
That's one thing, though, the love is the key there.
Right.
Love is the key.
Yeah, if you're not loving, you know, our pastor at my church, Word of Faith Fellowship, will often say a great barometer of what God's doing in your life and your heart is, are you loving everyone? You know, we can't take portions of Scripture and say, I really like that, and then take other portions of Scripture and say, I wonder how that made it into the Bible. I don't think I'm really going to follow. There are hard sayings of Jesus. 1 Corinthians 13 tells us that we're not going to take any account for a suffered wrong. So if we're someone who walks around with a lot of baggage, that person really stuck it to me, that's not the ethic of Jesus. There's also Scripture where Jesus says, do good to those who despitefully use you. Well, you can't do that in your own strength. It's only the strength and the power, the empowerment of God at work in a person who's truly born again. So every single day, I fail, and then I repent. I go to Jesus and say, you know what, forgive me. I got so agitated, and that's just wrong. We've got to lead with love. If we don't have love in the quiver with our arrows, all the other arrows of truth and justice may hit the mark, but we will often do more damage than good.
We see the absence of love every day on the news. Absence of love.
Yeah, and you know, we need to remember too that the great adversary, the evil one, the prince of the power of the air, Satan, the one who was thrown with a third of the angels to the earth, only has 3 assignments: to steal, to kill, and destroy. And so whenever we encounter people that are trying to steal, kill, or destroy, create division, anger, animosity, hate, that is not coming from Jesus. There is not hate that would be inspired by a work of God in a person's life. And you know what, the blame game, as I listen to you talk, because in between my conversations with Todd, I listen to you when I come in an hour or so earlier. You know, I find right now we also have a lot of people that are doing the blame game. Blaming. You know, we like to blame and shame. And I went back and looked at this. What's kind of interesting is the blame game is actually common, and expert testimony intensifies it. Research has found that people overwhelmingly blame the other party for failure. It just happens on either side of the aisle. However, when given expert testimony that confirms the other party was to blame, people placed even more blame on them. When the experts blame their own party, the information is ignored and blame is still placed on the other party. For example, President Roosevelt blamed President Hoover for the Depression. Go back and look at it. He blamed him. Yeah. President Carter blamed President Ford for inflation. Remember when it was up around 21%? It was terrible.
Yeah.
Now the Biden administration is blaming President Trump for the crisis at the southern border. John F. Kennedy once said that failure is an orphan and success has 1,000 fathers. And so nobody, that's pretty good, isn't it?
That's good, yeah.
Nobody wants to be around failure. And it's like, I've known people in my life, and I've actually done this, and I have to confess this openly. When there's a successful parade, metaphorically speaking, a lot of times you get people that run up in front as if they organized it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, that was my idea, when in fact it wasn't. And I've had to, as God deals with my own heart more and more, what happens, it's like as you let God work on your heart, He's revealing to me those hidden works of darkness, and the only way that you can be liberated and delivered from those things is to have the incandescent light of God's truth put on your life. And Jim, there have been some frightening things bubbling up from the cauldron of my life, and when they come to the surface and I recall, Butch, that was wrong what you did, I just say, in the moment, Jesus, forgive me. I know that the work of the cross is sufficient for that, but there's something about the acknowledgement, like it says in 1 John 1:9, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. And I had a little conversation with a person who's very dear to me. She's an elder woman. I was a little sharp with her, and I had to say, forgive me, forgive me for that. I could have said that better. I had the chance in church here on Sunday night to share about a couple of matters, and in the course of doing that, I volunteered that to the congregation. Why? Because there's something about living a life that's accountable. For me, it's really important. Mm-hmm. You got to remember that in 2015, I was sitting with Hillary Clinton operatives, training them on that's not too long ago, Jim, training them on how to be effective grassroots advocates for that candidate. So I've come a long, long way, and to God be the glory.
To God be the glory.
Yeah, say it with gusto.
To God be the glory.
Yeah, say it with gusto. And I'm so grateful. Speaking about God in the marketplace, let me read something to you and ask you if you can tell me where this is. We the people, grateful to Almighty God, the sovereign ruler of nations, for the preservation of the American Union and the existence of our civil, political, and religious liberties, and acknowledging our dependence upon God for the continuance of those blessings to us and our posterity, do, for the more certain security thereof and for the better government of this state, ordain this Constitution. What do you think that's the preamble of?
Preamble to our Constitution.
It's the preamble to the Constitution of the state of North Carolina. Do you think there's some political people that have never read that or really taken that to heart?
I do think there's many folks who have not read that or the Constitution. And it's a shame because that is we run on these political platforms, these political parties, what I can do for you, and oftentimes we don't go back and look at the Constitution of our own state or our national Constitution, and we just out to gain some notoriety, and that's the wrong reason to run.
43 of the 50 states in the United States have something comparable to what I just read for the state of North Carolina. The other 7 have something that's enjoined, that's similar, a little more watered down. But listen to this. I mean, for example, here are just a couple of examples. Connecticut. The people of Connecticut acknowledging with gratitude the good providence of God in permitting them to enjoy a free government. Maine. We the people of Maine acknowledging with grateful hearts the goodness of the sovereign ruler of the universe, God, in affording us an opportunity and imploring his aid and direction in its accomplishment. Massachusetts, we therefore the people of Massachusetts, acknowledging with grateful hearts the goodness of the great legislator of the universe in affording us in the course of his providence an opportunity and devoutly imploring God's direction. New York, we the people of the state of New York, grateful to Almighty God for our freedom in order to secure its... These are the preambles of the state constitutions across the United States. 43 of our 50 states have something with that kind of same power and precision.
Isn't it sad, though, that they, at that point in time, they recognized the sovereign power of God, but today they're almost embarrassed to have it anywhere on the mottos or anywhere publicly at all? They're embarrassed by that?
Right. They're embarrassed by it, and because of that, Jim, we need to be so careful because God's favor in hand is so clear in Scripture, particularly the Old Testament. God can lift his hand of blessing off a nation, and so it behooves us to make sure that we are daily yielding our lives to God, because as we do that, we'll find blessing in our life, the life of our family, our church, our community, and our nation. But you know what? We're going to talk about onions.
Let's go.
Right, that's right. We're going to talk about onions. The Republican Party, for how long, Jim?
At least 20 years, maybe longer, but maybe 20 years, maybe longer than that.
Okay,
maybe 30. I'm not really sure.
Okay, so it would be fair to say then the Republican Party in our county, Rutherford County, how do you say?
Correct way is Rutherford. A lot of folks say Ralston. Ralston Park. Ralston. Could put that L in there. Rutherford
It
County.
feels so loose. I need some breakthroughs in that area. I can't quite go there. It feels so artificial when I do it that way.
Rutherford is correct.
But I am from around here now. I can't use that excuse. 3 years and 5 months. I am from around here. So the Republican Party for many, many years, the exact number of which Jim can't remember right now, has sold onions as a way to do what?
Raise money to support the activities of the Republican Party in the county, support candidates, support the headquarters, to make sure that we can keep our bills paid and move forward with a conservative message.
Okay, but you know what? That's one of the reasons. You know what the other reasons are? The other reasons are
onions
are great for you, and there's such great history around these particular Vidalia onions. You can go by the Republican Party headquarters. Where is that again for people?
Right downtown Rutherford, right downtown Rutherford on Main Street.
Do you have confused allegiances?
I've had difficulty this morning all the morning.
Okay,
with my geography.
let's be sweet and caring to Jim. Okay,
that's right.
Okay, so they can go downtown and they can make their order today only. Today is the last day.
Yes.
There's no other chance. I know I'm going to sound a little bit like an Onion infomercial here, but wait, there's more. There's no chance after today. You got to go into the Republican Party headquarters, downtown Ralston, and go in there and make your order. You're going to make the Republican Party happy. But you know what? For those of you that are wondering why are Vidalia onions so important, let me give you some trivia about Vidalia onions.
Please do.
You just were waiting to hear about this.
I love them.
Okay. We've got 8 minutes. We won't spend all of that on that. Okay, so Mose Coleman of Toombs County accidentally discovered the Vidalia onion during the Great Depression.
Did not know that.
Isn't that something? So he's out there in the field and he goes, look, a Vidalia onion. Second, number 2, Piggly Wiggly. You remember them?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Okay, Piggly Wiggly was the first retail store to sell Vidalias.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Isn't that something? That's something.
I'm learning something.
I learned so much here. I'm just trying to turn about as fair play.
This is a great program.
If you say so yourself. Number 3, the Vidalias are named after the town they're grown in, Vidalia, Georgia.
I knew that.
You did know that?
I didn't know that.
Okay. 4, the sweet flavor is due to the low amount of sulfur in the soil in which the onions are grown.
Yes.
Did you know that?
I knew that too.
Okay. You know what I'm doing? You're being gracious to the point of don't patronize me now.
I'll tell you the ones I don't know.
Okay, all right. 5, it can be called a Vidalia only if it's grown in one of the 20 counties designated by the Vidalia Onion Act of 1986.
Did not know that.
They passed legislation to protect the Vidalia onions. Isn't that something? Number 6, the Vidalia onion was named Georgia's official state vegetable in 1990. I want to make an appeal for a state. What's our state vegetable? Do you know?
I do not.
Okay, well, it just so happens I want to make a case for my vegetable of choice, which is okra. Folks, I love pickled okra. You're asking me, Butch, why do you have that bottle? Well, because we were going to talk, if we had time, which we don't today, about favorite kind of odd foods that you like. Do you have one, by the way, that's kind of off the beaten path?
Odd food?
Yeah, well, different. Do you eat chitlins?
No.
You don't?
No.
Is that out of conviction, or?
Nothing other than I know where it comes from.
Okay. Well, I love okra. I love pickled okra. I want you and Faye to have that. You know what else I like? We're taking a little parenthetical trail here, rabbit trail. You know what else I love? Figs.
And I love figs.
You do?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Well, these are for you, and people are saying, why are you carrying around these two? Because I like to give gifts to my friend, and so these are pickled okra, and these are fig preserves. I love figs as well.
I love figs, yeah.
And you know, the Bible talks a lot about figs.
I know. I've got a fig tree out back of my place there, right near the barn.
Do you harvest them?
We try to get a few, but bees get to them before we do.
Okay, maybe next year we can work on a harvesting initiative together.
That'd be great.
Okay, let's assume that. Okay, we've got 5 minutes to go. Official state vegetable in 1990, the Vidalia onion. Okay, number 7, farmers grow Vidalias on more than 14,000 acres. They've got a designated area where they grow these. 8, there is a 1,300 square foot Vidalia Onion Museum.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That is filled with exhibits that highlight the sweet onion's economic, cultural, and culinary significance. Only in America.
Mm-hmm.
Only, you've got the Liver Mush Festival there in Cleveland County as well.
They have a Vidalia Onion Festival, too.
Where?
Somewhere down in Georgia. I saw it on TV advertised the other night. But
okay.
Vidalia Onion Festival.
That would be a great road trip for
you. It would, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. We're live and reporting from the Vidalia Onion Festival. Jim, who knows what God may have us do in the days ahead. Number 9, Vidalia sales now total this is in 2018, over $90 million, 40% of the nation's spring onion crop.
Wow.
Isn't that something? And let's do our part here in Rolfton. Let's do our part. And then number 10, around 5 million 40-pound boxes are shipped out each season.
Wow.
I love that.
And you can go to the grocery store sometimes and find displays that say Vidalia onions, and you buy them. They're not near as sweet, nor are they as mild as the real Vidalia onions. Sometimes you buy something you think is Vidalia onions because it's a white onion, and it's strong. Which is not a true Vidalia. I think they just put the name on it. But
are you a paid endorser for Vidalia onions?
I love them. Isn't
that great?
I can't wait for the season every year.
It's so easy. It's so much easier to sell or promote something when you have personal experience with it. Lots of health benefits from onions, too. So go to the Republican headquarters. Go today right downtown here in Rolfton. Go right downtown in Rolfton.
That's right.
And get your Vidalia onions and say yes to democracy, yes to grassroots activism, yes to the Republican Party here in our precious county.
They'll be placed in order probably later today, and they should be back by the end of the week or 1st of May.
Okay. As we close today, because we only have 3 minutes left, I've been reflecting a lot, Jim, and you do this so well, on the power of encouragement, encouraging other people. Abraham Lincoln, our iconic president, was such a tremendous encourager. And I was digging through a couple of books recently. This is a letter I found that he wrote to a young man that was a friend of his son's, who was turned down at Harvard, and a few years earlier, this young man's father had died. And here you have Abraham Lincoln. Listen to the letter that he wrote this young man in the midst of his discouragement. Dear Speed, your letter came to me 3 or 4 days ago. When this reaches you, you will have been Fanny's husband for several days. I want to make sure that you know that in the midst of everything, Bob's letter, that you had failed to be admitted to Harvard. There must have been great disappointment, and yet there's very little in it if you allow this feeling of discouragement to seize and prey upon you. Don't do that. It is a certain truth that you can enter and graduate in Harvard University, and having made the attempt, you must succeed in it. Must is the word. I know not how to aid you right now and to assure you in your maturing age of what is happening in your life, but don't let yourself feel depression. The president of the institution can scarcely be other than a kind man, and doubtless he would grant you an interview and point out to you the readiest way to overcome the obstacles which have thwarted you in getting into Harvard. In your temporary failure, there is no evidence that you may not be able to be a better scholar someday and a more successful man in the great struggle we call life. You will have a bright life. Again, I say, let no feeling of discouragement prey upon you, and in the end, you are sure to succeed.
Great letter.
And when we take the opportunity to encourage the person, the elder, the person going through chemotherapy or radiation, that person that struggles daily with their diabetes, that person who's lost a job, lost a mate, lost a child, lost somebody in their family, there is something incarnational when the gospel in a moment is distilled down to something as simple as, what may I do to help you? The power of encouragement. The only thing that encouragement requires is for us to get outside of ourselves long enough to notice the pain, the plight, or the discouragement of another person and encourage them. If a president can do that with a young man that was discouraged because he didn't get into Harvard, we can do that simply and surely every single place that we go by today.
It's an effort we should strive to do every day.
Well, and you do, Jim, and I'm grateful for it.
Thank you.
I'll be in Dallas on Thursday, so I'll be calling in.
We're gonna miss you in the Blue Room.
Yeah, I know. I don't go with the anxiety. We just need to do what we do, only do it virtually.
Big D, little A, double LAS.
You always have something memorable to say, especially at the end. It's
God
My
bless
Great
America.
America. God bless it.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.